Live, this is one for the record. Breaking news out of the Mercury News. Okay, let me read this article for you. Alrighty. Japan, China plane spotted over disputed islands. Okay, and it says Tokyo, a Japanese government spokesman says a Chinese airplane has been spotted in Japan airspace above southwestern islands controlled by Tokyo, but also claimed by Beijing. And then it says the defense agency said 4 Japanese F-15 jets headed to the area Thursday morning, but no further action was taken. Alrighty then. It's over a territorial dispute, and not sure what's going on. Also, I'm going to give you the breaking news from Kevin Blanch. I might as well attach that to it. It's in the middle of the night right now. It's about 2:22 a.m. This happened about let's see, 20 minutes ago. So I'm giving you the heads up first. You'll see it here. And let's see what else. Quaalude Dude 714, sorry to hear that you were playing in the DDT truck. Yeah, stay out of that. Also, I guess there was some kind of comment from Jack Jackson. That's his channel. He's saying it. I should apologize that nothing's happening on the December 21st, 2012. Well, we're not there yet, and all I see is a bunch of problems. So, alrighty then. And it has been happening all over the world. Just because you don't see it in front of your face yet, I'm just telling everyone to be prepared. Just like they, run. I guess I want to thank Lori from out of Washington. Said they do have fire drills and earthquake drills, so you got to be prepared. Do you want them to apologize for that too, Mr. Jackson? Are you related to Daniel Jackson? The Dr. Daniel Jackson? I was just wondering. Alrighty then. So breaking news on Japan right now. It's happening now. Maybe they're going over to check out Fukushima. Who knows? But and then Kevin Blanchwood spent fuel pool number 4. He's saying China syndrome. Alrighty then. And I'm going to run that video. I'm going to attach them all together. If there's any more breaking news, I'll let you know. Stay tuned. And it was, oh gosh, I can't remember his name now. Mr. Marshall. And I was watching a thing on December 21st, 2012. He says that there were a couple of crop circles. And he's stating that if you look up to the sky, you look at towards the sun, then go to the right 45 degrees, go up 45 degrees, you will supposedly see on the 21st Nibiru. So you might want to search that out. His last name was Marshall. It's in the middle of the night for me right now. Lots of breaking news, and as I get it, I will try to capture it and give it right to you. So heads up, something's going on, and I'll see you again tomorrow unless something else major breaks out. But take care and hang in there, and I have to first put this private so I can attach all the videos together. So just hang in there. Let me get back here. I want to thank Lori from Washington for giving me that heads up about Japan, China. I guess she saw it on Twitter first, started searching it. It's just starting to get on all the mainstream right now of the internet. I don't know about the mainstream media, but we know it's starting. The breaking news is starting to happen on this. Okay, take care, and I'll be back with you later. Actually, today. Breaking news coming out of Kevin Blanch's channel, saying Fukushima breaking news unit 4 is in full China syndrome meltdown today, 12/12/12. Alrighty then. It's the worst case scenario, and he's going to explain it to you. Also, there's strong language, so be ready. It's not too bad, but strong language. Here we go.
They'll be calling you a radical. We have massive breaking news out of Fukushima that no one seems to give a damn about. Not the Japanese media, not the American media, not all you so-called freelance Facebookers, YouTubers. I'm going to tell you one thing right here, right now. The first thing to journalism, Journalism 101, use your real name. Use your real... I love these people that you tag stuff. It still blows my mind how Facebookers and YouTubers use acronyms and don't use your real name. Really, what are you doing? As this was reported by Fukushima Diary, which that young man out of Japan does amazing work. And he even says it himself. Look, we had the earthquake over there a few days ago. We've all been sitting back as all you people stare and watch those videotapes. Oh, TEPCO and Japan government give us this video to stare all day after it. Those video coming off and them cams off those plants mean nothing. Nothing. Nothing you're going to tell. Nothing. Oh, we see the guys walking around with it. This is invisible. This is fission. This is China syndrome. Why is this such important news? I'll tell you why this is such important news. As number 4, as I've been arguing with people for all day yesterday and today, they're like, well, number 4, I'm like, yeah, it does matter, and I'll tell you why it matters. Not for just you contemporaries to watch this today. This is a historical document that will be viewed because there is no one telling this story in real time except us citizen journalists, us freelancers, and all you people, you citizen investigative reporters. I want to take right now, before I start reading all this stuff, this powerful, powerful news, this horrible, horrible, horrific news. Thank you to all you people out there, you citizen journalists, you citizens freelancers who've done all this hard work. I really appreciate so many of you. Fukushima 311, Radiation Watch, Fukushima Diary, E-News, so many of you guys have been the reporters. Thank you so much for all this. Is this news? I'm going to read this. According to Mr. Makarada, former Japanese ambassador in Switzerland, the coolant system of SFP of reactor 4 was stopped from 12/8 to 12/11, and the concrete base is terribly damaged already. Knowing this trouble, mass media did not report it at all. On 12/11/2012, Mr. Akawami Yasami, Japanese journalist, received this email from Mr. Murata. Dear Mr. Akawami, I received this message on 12/9/2012. The pump of the SFP in reactor 4 had been having this spotty trouble, but it went out of order on 12/8/2012 at the end. Nuclear workers were collected for emergency to replace the pump, but it takes more 2 to 3 days to fix it, they say. Extra workers were brought in by helicopter even at night, according to a nuclear worker collected for emergency. The concrete to reinforce the SFP is in terrible deterioration to be in the dangerous state. I, Mr. Akawami, called Mr. Murata after receiving this email. Mr. Murata said, I sent this email to all the chief editors of national newspaper companies, NHK, and influential people of the major mass media, but they all ignored it. I was shocked. I called the manager of disaster headquarters Fukushima government, but he did not know that. It seems like they didn't report it to Fukushima local government. Let's talk about why. Okay, as you know, I've been reporting this from day one. I have whistleblowers as a bunch of my friends as we graduated from college together in Japan. So I don't get emails from Japan anymore. I literally get hundreds and hundreds of emails to this day. I had dozens and dozens of people in Japan watching my videos going, nothing. And so I called my friend in Tokyo. She called me, says, they're not letting anything out. The government's blocking everything. There we go. So we're going to do that. Wow. Well, we know what the Japanese government, TEPCO, up to. They're pure evil. They're evil scum, not the people of Japan. They're just like us in the United States. We don't represent what our government does anymore. None of us countries do. We are, we don't draw lines and maps and borders. We are who we are. Look, why is this such massive news? Because Gunderson and some of these morons will come back and, remember this. Gunderson, when this first happened, argued me for 2 weeks as I reported this. As you can look back at my early videos, I reported this to a T, to a science. As YouTube and credibility do not go hand in hand, as we've seen that. People don't give a damn about credibility. They'll still listen to Alex Jones over and over spew this radical, the sky is falling market when it already happened. But time and space and history, as we look back, will surely give credibility. That's where you don't forget, you YouTubers. All you YouTubers, you forget that these are historical documents. You think, oh, I got it dead wrong, so I'll just pull that video down. Oh, no, you won't. Trust me, somebody's got it out there. You're being watched. So as history looks back, that's what art and culture and journalism is all. It's about credibility. Gunderson, you have none. You've diluted our cause. So many of you diluted our cause by inaccurately reporting in the interim. And then you work for the industry. This kid has great credibility. Fukushima Diary. E-News. Great credibility. They're it. They're the only ones reporting it. Go through every single one of my videos, especially the Fukushima, in detail. This is a big, big deal, and I'll tell you why. I believe that it is true that the spent 4 early pools went empty. I believe that that happened. Okay, so then you say, well, if that happened, fission was taking place and this has been released into the atmosphere the entire time. Yeah, but that's not the point here. Whether it was released then or it's in trouble now and releasing now, it doesn't really matter. The point is, it has been released, which has been reported by everybody that it has not. Now, why is number 4 so dramatic? And I want to talk about this to you people. That I keep forgetting we have to re-educate it because we just automatically in our heads as we report this think people have been following along all the time, which we know they have not. Look, to understand Fukushima, you first must understand Chernobyl. This study came out today. I've been involved as a socioeconomist, as an economist, so much digging into the story of Chernobyl and how the IAEA and how the world was able to pull off the greatest catastrophe in world history, how they were able to hide it. As I've known, that's why I got so outraged and got so dramatically upset and went so crazy about Gupta, who took the Hippocratic Oath, and I go on and on like a broken record about it, because I know the story of Chernobyl. I've dug into it. I've been involved with the wolf studies for years. The whole region's been taken over by wolves. And people have been in there. It's ironic, as I was fighting for my life, almost dead exactly a year ago right now. This documentary on PBS on the radiating wolves was out. This came out today by the 2 French scientists who have been done so much beautiful work on this subject. And I'll post, this is very copyrighted material, so I don't want to read much of it. And, they posted it. Thank you for posting as they posted it to the journal, and it was posted to Yahoo. Radiation occurs naturally to varying extent due to accidental releases of radiologists into the environment. Although a large number of accidents has taken place around the world, by far the largest release occurred at Chernobyl on 26 April 1986, when the radiated material, hundreds of times that amount, contained in the nuclear bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, were released into the environment. The efforts of this event of free-living organisms and humans still remain poorly known, mainly due to the general lack of research. Now, est-ce que vous... J'ai parlé français un peu, so I'll butcher these names, I'm sure I will. Mola and Mose, 2006, and Van Werden. Surprisingly, there has been no concentrated effort to quantify the relationship with the abundance of animals and plants and background level of radiation, and therefore the effects of radiation from Chernobyl on fauna and flora remain to be determined. Recently, extensive censuses have revealed negative relationship between the abundance of range of animals and its copyrighted material, so I'll cut off there. But the crux of this is, why has it been taken over by wolves? Which Chernobyl has been taken over by wolves. The fish at the lake right there, there's been none spawned in 26 years, so the fish that remain because nothing has been born, are gigantic, but wolves have taken over the whole region, and there's been plenty of scientists going there. They're drawing the blood, and these studies are being worked on as why? Why are the rest of the mammals, and this study proves that the rabbits, all the small have been killed off, or just don't evolve there anymore. They're not there. Proof, 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 proof. That's why I got so outraged at the outrageous malice by Sanjay Gupta and Donald Weber in that report on Sanjay Gupta 2 weeks after Fukushima. Because I know that Fukushima, if somebody came to me right now today, to you people that don't understand how Chernobyl was the biggest catastrophe that ever happened until Fukushima. To understand Fukushima, we must first understand that Chernobyl. If somebody came to me, I was asked this today, Kevin, if somebody told you your life depended right now, you had to give a number, and it had to be fairly accurate, on how many people directly in the world, in the atmosphere, Chernobyl has killed. As the studies that I really put a lot of weight in, and my work puts a lot of weight into, 1.5 million informant, but honestly, I think those numbers are grotesquely low. I think Chernobyl, personally, has killed 30, 40 million people. I think the incidence of cancers, which we know of, rose dramatically all over the world, are a direct link. Okay, so whatever the number is, we know it's gargantuan, we know it's massive, we know the American populace doesn't know the story of Chernobyl. The American populace, the world populace doesn't know the story of the nuclear reactor. What is nuclear power? Nuclear power is contained fission. It is contained madness. What has been the argument 40 years ago when they started building? That this cannot escape into the freaking environment. If it does, it will kill millions. As Pu 239, 240, we know plutonium is the evil killer of all. We know the half-life is hundreds of thousands of years. 24,000 years in just the unmoxied fuel. And it gets into the bone marrow and it causes leukemia. It's unarguable. Fact. It gets into the jet stream, as we are all weak. So they guaranteed us, by law, in written contract, all over the world, by the IAEA, which are nothing but, the IAEA is the biggest criminals mankind has ever seen. It can't happen, it won't happen, it will not, it cannot, it will not. Okay, it did happen in Chernobyl. Chernobyl was entombed after how many days? By 500,000 men? Okay, so we know that Chernobyl, that grotesque, evil accident, as these things are accumulating, did what it did. Fukushima. I've reported 4 for the whole time. Everybody jumps down my throat. There's only 3, there's only 3. I've reported 4 from day one, as you guys know. Because I count number 4, where all the spent fuel moxies. And to you new people in here, let's talk about that too. As the argument was early, well, where are you going to put the spent fuel? As the rods, they have to go somewhere. As when they have that contained fission madness that creates that freaking energy, that turns that steam, that makes that power, there's a byproduct. Where's the byproduct going to go? In written contract, again, we agreed to put it underground at Yucca Mountain. Yucca Mountain was built. And when Yucca Mountain was all done, as Harry Reid, a Mormon from here, by the way, has appointed the NRC, Jacko, and now Allison McFarland to block Yucca Mountain. They don't want it there now, so we've had this argument or debate for 40 years, not here, all over the world. So the military has grandstanded that, the military has always been involved in the nuclear, because that spent fuel can be moxied and you can turn it into nuclear weapons. That is what number 4 at Fukushima more than likely is, because the mass amount of spent fuel that is in number 4 is bigger than 1, 2, 3. So let's think about this. We know we had on impact on the shake, as I reported day 1, and Gunderson himself argued with me, he says, oh no, the tsunami knocked, no. The cores were cracked immediately. As I've reported so perfectly, even I look back, it is almost Cassandra alchemy how accurate I have been on this reporting. As I got leukemia after I said it's going to give you all leukemia. But my reporting this has been freaky alchemy, scary Cassandra. Okay, so we know what Chernobyl is, and this is all accumulated. It's only been around for 70 years. It's building up. 3 full core meltdowns in Chernobyl for 636 days now. Okay, number 4, as this is reported, which blows my mind it's not being reported.
Here's the rest to cut out. Here we go. I'll pull it back a little bit so you can hear the whole thing that he's saying.
people in jail for leaking information. I know this factually. So it's not going to get reported in the Japanese media because they've had all that time to block Egypt. So it is our, the American media obviously is not going to, the 1%, we know that. We've watched this one, it was right in the face, they refused to report it. But you freelancers out there that try to use fake names, whatever, you delegitimize our cause, it's sickening. So I guess it's just some freelance professor, finance guy, a plaster, an artist from Utah who's fighting for his life that's going to report this meme. So I'll do it. I'll be your internet slut. I'll do it. Why? Because it is my calling now that I have. If I wouldn't have been so heavily in depth in this subject matter, when I got leukemia, I wouldn't have been able to, because it was a YouTube video that saved me, and I argued with the doctors and I fought. So, by having this knowledge and this information has saved my life. This report talks about Chernobyl 26 years later, how it's wiped out in a gigantic area. As she says, she believes and hypothesizes the reason the wolves have taken over is when animals are born into the zone, like the rabbits or whatever, they're weak and easy prey for the wolves, which I believe that is exactly on it. I believe the French scientists are on it to a T. The other hypothesis is the wolves can travel hundreds of miles, so they can go in and out of the zone, so they're not as contaminated. But I believe the first to be the accurate piece, as the species are so weakened that they are easy prey, and we know that the species are going away. They're going away, the birds, the small mammals. As it will stay like that, as the ignorant spew in Fukushima, in Chernobyl for hundreds of thousands of years. That is the lie of this. This number 4, as it's being reported, is the concrete decay is nuke China syndrome. But this is the big. This will dwarf the China syndrome that we know factually is going on in 1, 2, 3. What is China syndrome? China syndrome is nuclear fission, not nuclear fission. Nuclear fusion, which naturally happens as stars, were nuclear fission, which we have never known. The word China syndrome was contemporized by the movie in 1979 via 3 Mile Island. The water gets off these things. These things have to have water to cool them. If they don't cool, they melt together fast. Once they start melting together, it doesn't matter if you put water back on it. It's not going to cool them. What happens? Fission. Thus, the word contemporary China syndrome that would burn all the way through the center of the earth. China syndrome, which the movie sensationalized the name, which is, I still think it's a very accurate word, a very beautiful word for it. Number 4 has so much spent fuel, enough spent fuel to dwarf every accident, nuclear accident in the history of the world, which is Chernobyl and Fukushima. In the larger scale, we have tons of little ones all over, but it doesn't matter because they're all accumulated and they all build up into the jet stream and kill people randomly. Doesn't care what kind of condition, what kind of shape, it's into your bone marrow, contaminates the bone marrow, and you're on. The fight of your life is on. If this is true, this will dwarf 1, 2, and 3. If fission is going on, people say, oh, the cameras. Look, the camera shots are going to do nothing. Do nothing. If those spent fuel rods are uncooled and the freaking China syndrome has melted together and the fission has taken place, which I know it factually has. We know factually number 3. The gamma rays that are released into the atmosphere are invisible. And okay, say this did happen from day 1 in number 4, which it probably did. That means that would say a lot about that freelance readings we're getting all over Washington and Canada and all over the state, because the readings, any of you people that are new or not watching, the readings since Fukushima happened in North America have been off the chart. So what's been the government's answer all across the world? Just raise the limits. They know we're way over the freaking limit. Been grotesquely underreported. If number 4, with that fuel, is in fission, which I believe that it is, and he says it right here very specifically and clearly, the concrete to reinforce the SFP is terribly deteriorating to be in the dangerous state. That, to me, says this. That, to me, that they are dry. They have been dry for a while. And China syndrome it'll eat that concrete away. It will annihilate it. Gamma rays are being released into the atmosphere. thus show why we've had such high readings all over California, Washington, Oregon, Canada, all the way across the world for that matter, first 363 days, and we have these major incidents that get no reports and unearned reports. My honest, as I've been battling this disease and fighting this disease, I think history will view back, as I believe that's how history views great art, is accuracy, credibility in art, in reporting, in journalism, in science, in all of this, which I've had to encompass all of this into my world. This has become my world, literally. As I said, I used to eat, sleep this because of the death of my father and because of the dynamic, and so outraged about him being marched into the trench and human guinea pig, the nuclear atomic veteran that he was. I don't just sleep it, I don't eat it, now I sleep with it. Literally. Literally. If this, well, which, there's no even if, we know this. Fukushima, as it is looked back on, Fukushima is going to kill hundreds of millions of people. Hundreds of millions over many generations. It's going to maim, it's going to displace. This story out of Fukushima right here. As that earthquake shook 7.3 and there's no reports, and we're going to get no reports out of Japan because they are pure evil, not the Japanese people themselves. TEPCO and the Japanese government are as pure, the evilest of all evil could possibly be. Our modern contemporarized media here is just pathetically ignorant, and they're evil too. I'll stay on this. I'll stay reporting this. But this is massive, catastrophic news. One other thing. This was reported today. It's either laugh or cry. December 11, 2012. Tokyo, the Fukushima Ministry Conference on Nuclear Safety, hosted jointly by the Japanese government and the International Atomic Energy, IAEA, will begin December 15th in Koriyama City, Fukushima. During the 3-day conference, I don't even fucking want. Wow. You want to talk about the greatest dog and pony show going on in world history. You want to watch any of you guys that you white-collar criminals that want to go to Wall Street or want to go into the media or just want to make money, is that's what America's turned into. If you want to learn how to do this and be passive, postured, groomed, and learn how to be the greatest, most evil liar, contempt, malice, creep, and probably get rich doing it, you go watch this. It will be textbook. It'll be textbook. How to mass murder your fellow human being and rob, and as we could give a fuck about integrity in this fucking world anymore. We don't care about honesty. We don't care about integrity. We don't care about truth. It's like this. If there's two things on television, that box has ruined all of you and all of us. Or even YouTube. I mean, Alex, what's his name, Jones, we'll go through, he's so inaccurate, it's okay. So many of these people, the sky is falling, sky on the markets when the sky already fell. Go through my videos on the market and watch how I've called it. Everybody says, Kevin, you always bitch about this and that's where the answers. I have lots of answers. It's like the economy. The economy's real simple. Real simple. All the hyperbole that goes on, tariffs, it's that simple. It's always been there. It's an age-old, 10,000-year-old battle between protectionism and not protectionism. As you don't have tariffs, you don't have protectionism, you have slavery. Period. Doesn't matter if the slavery's here in the antebellum South or if it's in China, it's still slavery. And it breaks down freaking economies. The only way an economy can ever expand is if they protect their markets and they protect and they use tariffs from exploited slave goods. Really that simple. But that doesn't matter. None of that matters. None of that matters. All that matters is this now, the environment. Because if you get cancer, as you know, I had quite a bit of money. I had a brilliant career. I got hit by that truck last October. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what your career is. It doesn't matter. Your whole life becomes running from those Chernobyl wolves. Because those wolves, I think it's an incredible irony. That is the wolf that has taken over all of Chernobyl. And that other wolf on CNN, Sanjay Gupta and Donald Warren, they claim pictures in Chernobyl. You guys, I'll tag the link. You watch the documentaries out of Chernobyl. There's plenty of them out there, but Americans don't know. There's 2 pieces of, say PBS has some brand new book that they found that Mark Twain wrote, and they're going to release it on PBS tonight, which is exciting, unbelievable. Or some beautiful piece of real exciting knowledge. More American Idol's on. Same with a YouTube video. This will get thousands of times what this should get. Thousands of times. Not because this is quality, exciting, people like it. No, just because they've been postured and so groomed. They've been told what they like. They don't even give literature, or they don't give life is stranger than fiction a chance. That's who we are. This is going to kill somebody in your family. Every one of you. Every one of you. Your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers, your family. When you get cancer, a person in your family gets cancer, and they're dying. You remember this. And you remember, the guy did a video of me with a tinfoil hat on right after I started reporting Fukushima on 3/12/11. I'm not giving up on this story, and I use my real name because I'm a credible journalist. And if you don't think I've got credibility, you dig through them all. Yeah, I use radical language and go crazy for a reason. Trying to wake the dead, sleeping sheeple up. Is it an impossibility? Maybe. Maybe. But as I told my doctor when I was in there fighting for my life, and it was the bottom of the 9th, nobody on, 2 strikes, way down. I told my doctor straight up when they told me last year, when I was in there a year ago right now, all but dead. I says, I will not take a call 3rd strike. I'm getting out of this bed, and I'm swinging for the fences. Stay tuned.